Okay, so I'm gonna try to share my testimony, and to keep it at a good length, I'm gonna try to include only the most relevant parts. Okay, so I'm gonna start in college. I transferred when I was 19 from a college near Pittsburgh to a college closer to my house, one of the local Penn States. And I met a group of friends, and we did a lot of stuff together. We ate, like, lunch and dinner and stuff like that together. We hung out in each other's rooms. We went to a lot of parties together. And out of the group, me and this one kid were the closest. And that kid had a girlfriend that he talked about a lot. And also, just, I used to see guy friends like the same as girlfriends. I really didn't at that time see a difference, so yeah, it never occurred to me that there was any interest in a different way. So yeah, I just was not aware. But when I first came to this college at Penn State, they had showed us this video, and the video was about safety, like not letting strangers in your room, or stuff like that, so that you don't get attacked, sexually. And when I saw this video, I thought, yeah, I wouldn't do any of those dangerous things. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. So I really didn't take this video too seriously, because none of the situations shown I felt like I would do. Anywho, so at one of the parties that we were at, like we always go to as a group, this friend from the group that I was close with was giving me a lot of drinks, his own drink as well, just a lot of drinks. But this was not really weird to me, because if I go out with my friends, like, I also want my friends at that time to have a good time, and I'd be willing to give them my drinks. No issue there. So I didn't really think much of it. Anyways, so I don't really remember a lot of it. But the next day, I woke up in this kid's room with no clothes, and he was saying that, well, he was begging for forgiveness. He was just like, you're my best friend, sorry, I'm so sorry, forgive me. And I was so angry. I felt my face like literally burning, and I didn't say anything. I just got dressed, got up, left, went to my room. And when I got to my room, I literally did not leave my room that day. I literally just cried that whole day. And I just felt like a dirtiness that you really can't remove, you can't wash off, you can't scrub off. It was just permanent. My soul felt stained. My soul felt dirty. So I prayed to God, and I said, God, don't wake me up tomorrow. So when I woke up tomorrow, I was very mad at God for waking me up. And I felt God wanted me to suffer, because why would you wake me up? Why wouldn't you let me die that day? And as I was thinking this, and I was angry with God, a thought came to me. And the thought was, you should kill yourself. And I've never in my life ever considered this. So it was really crazy. But for some reason, it made sense. And the feeling I felt when I heard that thought was so overwhelming that I felt like it had to be done. It was very weird. And so I was scared of myself because I've never had this thought before, and it just came to me, and it was just so strong and so real, and it just felt like, yeah, you're right, I should. It was bizarre, but God was merciful. And at that time, that moment when I was thinking all this crazy stuff, there was a knock on my door, and it was that guy. And again, he was asking for forgiveness. And because of what just happened, that thought that just came to me, that scared the crap out of me. And I was scared of myself, and I didn't know what I was going to do to myself if alone. Um, yeah, and I just said, okay, sure, whatever. Not that I really could forgive or really know what that meant at that time, but I was just like, yeah, I just stopped talking to me about it. I just don't want to even really think about it. But with this friend, I left when, and we were walking, and we met up with other friends, and they were going to smoke. And prior to this, I did not smoke, and they had smoked before, but I did not go with them. But on this day, because again, what have happened, and I was just like, yeah, I want to go with you guys. So that's what happened, and that's what happened for the next like 9 months, nonstop. And I kind of put it in the back of my mind, far back, where I didn't even know it happened, to be honest. Like, it was like it didn't happen because I was in denial about it. And also drugs. Drugs helped. But there would be times where this kid would say stuff like, I think you hate me. And I would be like, generally, honestly, be confused. Like, why would I hate you? Because literally, I completely removed it from my mind. I did not even know this happened to me. It was very, very bizarre. But I would just be confused why I would hate this person, why he would think I hate him. I just would be confused. But then I went home on break, spring break, and I was talking to my cousin, and she just asked me about college, and I was just telling her about college. I was just reviewing things I did, and I was just telling her some of the stuff we did, and parties and whatever, and I was going through it. And then I got to the party that happened, and it just came back to me what had occurred, and I just broke down, like literally had a mental breakdown, and I just could not stop crying, and I did not stop crying. I literally fell asleep that night crying myself to sleep. So, and ever since that day, I couldn't put it back in the back of my mind. It was very real. It happened. And when I got back to college, I was having anxiety attacks. I really couldn't even hear this kid's name, and much less even see this kid, because we had mutual friends. I just could not. And like, yeah, I end up telling this kid, like, please, yeah, no, I actually don't forgive you. I don't actually like you, and stay away from me. Yeah, and just drugs again. And then a sober day happened, because we had what we call like a dry campus, where most of the people went home, and people who were there, the dealers, they had nothing on them, because they were going to go home over break to what they call a re-up, so me and my friend, not the friend that did this, I mean a girl, me and my friend that got really close at this period, now this is a girl, we just hung out, and I was in her room, and we were watching a movie, and this was like 12, like at 12 at night, so like at some point I gotta go to my room. So I go to my room, and this is 9 months after the incident, and it's also 9 months after I heard Kill Yourself. And in those 9 months since I heard Kill Yourself, I was never sober nor alone in my room. And on this day, I was going to be both sober and alone in my room, and I was terrified, because again, when I heard that like that in my mind that says kill yourself. It was such a strong feeling that I thought I must do it. So I was scared what I was gonna do. I just didn't know if I was gonna make it. So I was really scared to go to my room. But eventually I had to go to my room. So as I'm walking to my room, I get in the room and I say to myself, there has to be more to life. Like, there has to be more to life. So I go on the computer and I type in, like, I found like a NDA and, baby. Oh my gosh. Okay, you're a superstar. You just need to be on camera. I found a... Is that you? Is that you? You're smiling. You like your own face? Okay. Yeah, I found a video and it was about someone who went to heaven or whatever, and I don't even know what the video really said, because the moment I put that video on, yeah, so the moment I put that video on, I felt a light. Like, I know it makes no sense to say I felt a light, but I felt a light, and the light went through my back, through my chest, and everything was renewed. Like, the 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 stain I felt with my soul, the shame, the dirtiness, the pain, the unforgiveness, I just felt like literally renewed. Like, my spirit felt refreshed, because at that point my spirit had felt like death. It felt like I died, to be honest. It felt like I was dead. But it felt like I was brought to life, but not back to life, like to life I've never knew. And yeah, so the next day when I woke up, I just had this same feeling, like back to life. It was like a renewal, and I thought that the feeling was gonna go away, but this was when I was 19. I'm 33 now, and the feeling never went away. I still feel that way. I still feel like my spirit was renewed. And but the next day when I went out, when I looked at everything looked brighter. Even when I was going up, like, to my class up the hill, I had to stop and look at a caterpillar, because I've never seen it look so amazing. Everything was just amazing. Everything was sunshine and rainbows. Everything was good. And I even reached out to the guy, this friend, and I said, I forgive you. And I meant it. I meant it. I forgive you. No hard feelings. And then I used to work at the cafeteria, and one day after this, I saw him and a new girlfriend, not the one that was the girlfriend I was talking about at the time, but a new girlfriend. This one went to our school. Him and her came up to my station, and they ordered food, and I served them, and I even smiled at the guy, and I meant it, because God is good. But yeah, so that's how I met Jesus. Amen. And then how I really met Jesus was, okay, so I met him at 19, and I knew, okay, God is real, and that's all I knew. I didn't know nothing else, okay? I didn't know anything else. I didn't know I needed to know anything else until fast forward to when I am, let's say, 30, 31. I had two dreams. One I feature on here, and it's the rapture, and I get left behind, but I don't know the rapture, because I don't know God at this point. I don't know anything about the rapture. So I didn't know what that dream meant. I just thought it was a scary dream because everything was on fire, and I didn't understand what happened when I saw the woman and she turned light and, like, literally supersonically went up the sky. I didn't know what that meant. So that dream was weird to me, and yes, scary, because it was so terrifying. Everything was on fire. Everybody was running for their lives. But other than that, I don't know what that dream meant. But then I had a second dream, and this one, at the time, I didn't know it was a valid decision, because I didn't know anything about the Bible. I just knew Jesus was in this one. Jesus was there in this one. and Jesus came to me, and he was talking to me, and I was crying, and he said, I deserved hell, but I was saved by grace and may enter his kingdom. And I was just bawling before he even talked to me. I was just weeping. And then on the right side of me was my cousin, and he didn't let me hear what he said to my cousin because it was completely silent. But what I did hear was when he said, depart from me, and the ground opened up and she just dropped down, and I just woke up terrified. Okay, and that dream had more impact on me than the rapture dream, because this one, Jesus was literally in there. Okay, so I knew what this dream meant. And before this, I really didn't understand grace. I didn't really know what it meant that Jesus died on the cross for us. I really did not know. All I knew was I met Jesus, and at 19, and that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. So this whole time I thought, you just be good. But God is telling me I deserve hell. And this was the first time I realized I deserve hell. That we all deserve hell. I did not know this. It did not occur to me. I did not know anything about God. And then the part where my cousin departed from me, I never knew that until I started reading the Bible. But I still, at that point, felt that was scary. That God said, get away from me, and threw her in, well, I guess hell. But now I know it's the lake of fire. But all I knew, the ground opened up and she went down. Okay. And I did tell her this, and she's a Muslim, and she said she don't care because Jesus won't judge her. But I mean, I pray for her. Anywho, so at this dream though, I realized I don't know God, and I needed to get to know God. And I said, how can I follow a God if I don't even know what God told me to follow? So this is the time that I realized I need to read the Bible. So I started reading the Bible. It took me 2 years to read the Bible. So I'm finally reading the Bible, and I'm still on the Old Testament. It's not 2 years yet. And my cousin, the Muslim one, texted me, and she was confused on who the heck Jesus is in our religion, Christianity. And honestly, I didn't know either. Okay? I was still in the Old Testament. I didn't get to the New Testament. And that night, I said, God, I know you're real. Okay? You've met me. You've changed me. You've saved me. But I don't understand who is Jesus. Can you help me? Can you tell me? And I said that prayer. I went to bed, and I had this dream. In this dream, I left my body. I was in the spirit. I walked out my window, so through my window, because I'm in the spirit. I'm down on the ground, on the ground, okay, and it's raining. And in real life, it's also raining, but in this dream, it was raining. And there was a puddle. And I bent down by the puddle, and there was a reflection. And in the reflection, I see Jesus. And I say to Jesus, this is still looking at the reflection. I fall on my face basically, and I say, Father, have favor on me. And I woke up. And then in my heart of hearts, when I woke up, I knew who Jesus was. Jesus is God. And that's how I met Jesus. Met Jesus.